It is my distinct privilege and honor to introduce our Mayor-President for the City of Baton Rouge and East Baton Rouge Parish. Sharon Weston Broome is a firm believer in achieving progress through inclusion, innovation, and information. Since taking office, Mayor Broome has placed a heavy focus on improving the quality of life for citizens while building resiliency through infrastructure improvements. She is focused on addressing transportation, drainage, public safety, education, economic development, and revitalizing neighborhoods. Now, as I prepared to speak to you today for this introduction, reading through her bio, it struck me, and I mentioned to the mayor before I came up here, that it struck me that she is a woman of many firsts. And that being the first woman to occupy the office of the mayor-president of the City of Baton Rouge and East Baton Rouge Parish. But beyond that, previously she was the first to hold leadership positions as a Speaker Pro Tem of the House and as the President Pro Tem of the Senate, where she served in a distinguished capacity for many years prior to taking on these responsibilities. She's been awarded, I could spend a great deal of time that would be best served provided to her, but the mayor's received numerous awards and honors through the years for her achievements and her accomplishments. She does hold a degree in mass communication from the University of Wisconsin at La Crosse, and she received her master's degree in communications from Regent University. She continues to serve as a mentor in those fields as an adjunct professor through the LSU Manship School and also at Baton Rouge Community College and Southern University. Faith and family are priorities for our mayor. She's a member of United Christian Faith Ministries Church, and she's happily married to Marvin Broome. They are proud parents of 3 children and have 3 grandchildren as well. It's a privilege for me to introduce the mayor's guest today. Joining us is the mayor's husband, Marvin. Welcome. I had the privilege earlier of meeting the mayor's beautiful granddaughter, Sydney. Welcome. Someone familiar to this club, Chief Murphy Paul, Baton Rouge Chief of Police, is with us. A new welcome to Michael Kimball, who's the newly appointed Chief of the Baton Rouge Fire Department. Welcome, sir. Another person familiar to this club, the distinguished Mr. Hiller Moore, our District Attorney. And his guest, Jermaine Guillory, as well. Thank you, sir. And Daryl Gissel, our Chief Administrative Officer. And Mr. Kelvin Hill, who is Assistant Chief Administrative Officer, is also in charge of DPW. Thank you, sir. And finally, Miss Alyssa Panpinto, who's a Communication Assistant, and Mark Armstrong, who is our Director of Communications. With that, there is a video the mayor would like to introduce to the club, and so at this time we'll play the video and then the mayor will join for her remarks.
East Baton Rouge Parish is entering a new year. We've learned that each new challenge creates new opportunities. We're being creative in how we face these challenges: infrastructure, litter, crime, homelessness, or economic diversity. It takes all of us working together to be part of the solution. One of those challenges, our quality of life.
We're real proud this year to have been involved in some changes in litter.
Well, we cleaned up probably a little over 1,500 storm drain boxes, and these particular boxes that we had were somewhere between 25 to 75% blocking.
We had values growing up in community. You took care of your community, you didn't trash your community, you looked out for your neighbor looked out for you, and you just lived in harmony in neighborhoods.
It just seems over the last 3 to 4 years it's gotten to be unsurmountable. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pounds of material that was removed from out of the storm drain boxes. And it makes it twice as hard sometimes to get that stuff removed from the system.
But it's not enough what we've done. We're working now to find ways to put enforcement.
Addressing those kind of consequences in both enforcement and positive light, I think will make a difference.
To me, drainage is the #1 priority, because without the drainage, it doesn't do you much good to have roadways, because they will be underwater. And the real world is about trying to reduce flood risk for people of our parish.
The COVID pandemic is contributing to unprecedented challenges across the country, particularly with an increase in violence. In East Baton Rouge Parish, law enforcement and community have teamed up to tackle this issue head on.
It's a legitimate concern that people see the number of murders every day on the news. However, Baton Rouge, just like every other city, has experienced this since COVID. But Baton Rouge, like other cities also, our crime, particularly our murder, it's really highly concentrated amongst people and places.
We're that enforcement piece. You know, we've taken far more than 1,300 guns off the street. We've arrested hundreds of individuals, and yet still here we are with gun violence.
That's what we have to concentrate on. We're more committed today, and our resolve is stronger today to doing all those things than it's ever been before.
Normally, if there's a conviction, if we have enough evidence, then that person has to do time. That's accountability. When we have people committing crimes and not doing the time, there's no accountability, and they get to stay out and continue their felonious activity.
One of the strategies that Mayor Broome is investing in is really putting community at the helm of stopping some of the things that are happening as it relates to crime.
The people who are most affected by crime, that is those who are gun pullers and the shooters, that's the ones we try to get services to.
But what is really, crucial about Safe, Hopeful, Healthy is that we put the word public back into public safety. So an example of that is our Baton Rouge Community Street Team. What they are is folks from the community who are credible messengers. They have lived experiences, and they use those lived experiences to interrupt violence in our city. They also offer supports to folks who are, dealing with situations related to violence.
Crime districts were created a number of years ago by the state legislature. We have used those funds to establish cameras and license plate readers at all of our entrances.
You're going to see smart cameras going off in specific neighborhoods. ARP dollars are going to be used to disseminate those cameras in what we call hotspot areas in the city.
It's a little bit unique because it's tied directly into our Baton Rouge Police Department Real-Time Crime Center. The city police being able to see what's happening at all of our major entrances.
And we're going to be working in these areas. And let me be clear, we are not for the good law-abiding citizens. We are there for those bad actors, and we're coming for you.
I see more interaction now than ever before with the public and with us and working together. You cannot obtain the results you want, what the people want you to be doing, without having a good community outreach and having a good conversation and establishing relationships with the community.
We're working together to try to solve the issues that the parish has, really down to a neighborhood level.
I've had the opportunity to travel the nation and see chiefs and sheriffs and mayors where they just don't get along with each other at all. That's never been the case here. We may disagree on some things. However, we always, for the bottom line of public safety, come together, work things out. And I look forward to renewing that again this year, because we need to have a big impact in 2022.
We believe violence is curable.
East Baton Rouge Parish is growing. We're becoming more diverse and driving the economy for the entire region. Businesses, large and small, are taking notice.
We have right now 40,000 unfilled jobs in Baton Rouge. We believe confidently that in the next year, we can add 7,000 to 10,000 additional jobs.
One of the things that the mayor's strategy is really pushing is this work that we're doing in schools. We are imparting into our high schoolers personal and professional development, specifically working on those social emotional learning skills, and then also giving them access to information around career development.
Out of 50 cities that we continuously track data on, Baton Rouge came out at the very top of that. And one of the key attributes that we look for is talent pool that's diverse. Rural Sourcing is a application software development company. Today's terminology is called digital engineering. So if you think about applications that may be on your phone that help you identify available parking spots at a venue or downtown, we've helped build those solutions. So what we would love to see is the opportunity to grow and expand the technology economy in Baton Rouge. And what we want to do is make sure that those individuals have the opportunity and know that they have the opportunity to live in a place that they love and have a career that they dream of.
We are hoping that with the 2 economic development districts and a big win for Baton Rouge this year, Amazon, there will be far more than the 1,000 stated jobs that come about this coming year.
As your mayor president, I own the challenges presented to our people and do everything within my power to create solutions because I know we deserve nothing less.
We are committed that prosperity needs to be enjoyed by all.
Every family in every house, every neighborhood, every school, every church.
The people here are really good people.
It's just home. I would never want to work anywhere else.
Working together, we will.
See that good things will happen regardless of what some of the conditions you may be hit in the face with.
We want a Baton Rouge where people can feel safe in their homes.
People could get together. They could decide they had the power to make a decision, and they could decide what they were going to do about it.
I think we're moving in the right direction.
If I could have a perfect Baton Rouge, it will be where everybody thrived.
As we transition into 2022 and all that it has to offer, I look forward to building these relationships, creating strong systems for our residents, and being the change I wish to see in Baton Rouge. And I look forward to all of you joining me.
So the people of Baton Rouge have a story to tell. And you've just heard a synopsis of the present and the future from some familiar and perhaps some unfamiliar voices. And they all share a common thread. They believe in Baton Rouge. So today I stand before you, Baton Rouge Rotary, against the backdrop of 5 years as your mayor president, to share the story of our community. And as I reflect on the past 60 months, I can't help but think about some of the unprecedented crises that we've navigated as a city parish in this time. We've seen historic floods and hurricanes and a global pandemic, just to name a few. And these challenges have always seemed daunting. And yet our city parish government has always managed not only to address them, but overcome them and use these systems to build a stronger systemic infrastructure for the future. We've been in the midst of a unique challenge. COVID-19 has become a resident of our community. And this challenge has been an uphill battle for everyone. Yet our city parish government has responded in exemplary manner. We've stood up nationally recognized testing facilities. We've galvanized our healthcare resources and professionals and worked to meet the needs of our residents throughout this and many other periods of uncertainty that we have been challenged with. Our Office of Homeland Security and Emergency Preparedness activated and responded to 4 disasters in 2021, including winter weather, where we provided approximately 1,500 residents with congregate and non-congregate shelter accommodations, COVID community vaccination operations that administered over 11,000 vaccinations, excessive rainfall, and Hurricane Ida, which all displaced many of our residents for days at a time. And as we responded to these challenges and the realities that they brought with them, we not only adjusted, but adapted to build stronger systems because the challenges we face are interconnected and complex. We have and will continue to use every tool at our disposal to address any challenges within our community, especially as we see this saga continue through the lens of the Omicron variant. We have and we will continue to address COVID prevention and crime prevention at the same time. We have and we will continue to allocate resources for testing while also expending money for drainage. We have to reimagine what normal looks like in Baton Rouge. For now, we work with COVID-19 as our backdrop. This is what it takes to ensure that our city parish moves forward. And at this moment, I'm even more resolute to see this shared vision for Baton Rouge come to pass. I know there are probably several critical areas that are at the forefront of your minds, and I want to address our progress, our plan, and our platform. Let's start with crime. If you ask any elected official, any faith leader, or any resident, probably any of you all in this room, what your biggest concern is, many would say crime and public safety. I don't have to go over the many press clippings or headlines concerning crime in our city. We all know about the influx of violent crime in 2021. And as your leader, I own that and face it head on every day. And especially late at night, when I take on those phone calls about a homicide that has occurred. Yes, that's right, every time there is a homicide, I get a call from dispatch. And many of the dispatch workers say, Mayor, I'm sorry to wake you up, or Mayor, I'm sorry to deliver you this bad news on Christmas Day. I thank them for their service and oftentimes make a phone call to the chief to see how we're going to deal with this. And so I see and feel the grief of families, and I feel the worry of neighbors. Like the neighbor in North Baton Rouge who called me and said, Mayor, she was almost hysterical. She was frustrated, and I get her frustration. She said to me, I'm retired now. I live in North Baton Rouge. And she said, I feel like I can't even sit out on my porch to enjoy my retirement now. And then she said to me, I want you to do the same thing for us that you're doing in Mid-City. I want to be able to walk down the street like white nights out and enjoy my community and enjoy my city and parish. And you know what I did? I listened attentively. And then I shared with her, I totally understand. Give me some addresses right now. And I called the chief so that we could get on it. I share that story with you because I want you to know that I feel the reality of everything that goes on in this city and in this parish. Now, just like I said, I own the state of crime in Baton Rouge. We must all own the facts about crime. Crime is soaring across the country. Cities of every size are grappling with crime like never before, and I don't present these facts to you as an excuse or a political scapegoat. It's a harsh reality that we must understand in order to grasp the complexities of crime and in order to create solutions. You see, this isn't about any one leader. This isn't about sharing Western Broome, one department, one officer. It is about the unity and urgency that defies and rises above past tensions and differences to fight for peace in our community. We're facing a crime epidemic, a public health crisis that requires a whole government and community approach. Just like COVID-19, public safety requires a multi-dimensional approach that activates every part of our community to fight against crime. And we are doing it in a lot of different ways. Too many to tell you today because the time is growing short, but I will share this with you, that we are giving $1.8 million to enhance Baton Rouge Police Department's technical capabilities, including automated license plate readers and technology for strategic community cameras. You heard a little bit about that on the video. Chief Paul has adopted an approach of collaboration and innovation. The police department has implemented a place network investigation strategy, and the list goes on. We've given $400,000 to our district attorney's office to address youth offenders, gun violence, and the victims associated. And our crime cannot be solved with one agency. We've got to prevent the spread, and that's why we've added the approach of empowering our residents to stand with us to say no more to the small percentage of repeat offenders of crime. And so we have our Baton Rouge Community Street Team, Violence Interrupters. You saw that on the video. We launched that in 2021. And these teams are targeting neighborhoods that are plagued by violence with techniques and tactics that are proven to work long before the call to 911 happens and long after the police clear an unfortunate scene. You might have read in the paper today comments from our district attorney. We're collaborating with him to establish a homicide review commission that would operate as a public health model approach to studying homicides. So we're doing all this to help make our communities safe, not just for the existing families and businesses, but to attract more people to Baton Rouge. And let's talk about economic development for a minute. I am so proud of the work that we're doing in the area of economic and workforce development. A new survey from the Baton Rouge Area Chamber collected data on national perceptions, and amongst the data, there are two key findings that I found very interesting that I want to share with you all today. The first is that since 2016, Baton Rouge has made significant progress in having a favorable business climate and high quality of life. This is especially the case with those under 45 years old. The second finding being that business professionals under 45 are an important group for our city. They often have a more favorable view of Baton Rouge and are more likely to consider relocating than their peers. And so these findings show that they believe in Baton Rouge just as we do. And I believe we continue to strengthen our systems, our economy, and our community. Even more people will believe in the value of our city and parish. And we are seeing this belief in our economy in real time. You saw the information about Amazon in our community. ExxonMobil is going to infuse $200 million directly into our economy throughout their expansion process. And just a few weeks ago, Coca-Cola announced the expansion of their facility on Plank Road, which will support over 200 jobs with the potential to create new jobs while simultaneously injecting millions of dollars into our local and regional economy. Now, I'm gonna pause there so you can give a round of applause for our economic development. So we see that these investments add to the strength of our growing economy, and they go hand in hand with the investments we're putting towards the redevelopment of our community. The redevelopment of our community and the quality of our infrastructure go hand in hand. You saw the work that we're doing with our infrastructure and drainage. You remember in 2017, you passed the historic Move EBR program, and our city parish has gone straight to work. When you see orange columns out there, I don't want you to complain. It's work. That's progress. We may have some closed lanes around our parish, but that is progress in real time. We had 21 projects enter the construction phase in 2021, and we will keep this momentum as we move forward. We're preparing for $100 million in Move EBR construction spending for this year alone. Over 30% of the dollars spent have gone to businesses that would qualify as disadvantaged business enterprises. And for the first time in the history of our parish, we are putting our money where our mouth has been concerning equity in contracting. We also are doing work with our drainage. We currently have $740 million in drainage underway, including a number of major projects, such as the Comeet River Diversion Project and work on 5 major tributaries. And of course, I would be remiss if I did not mention the historic Stormwater Master Plan. We commissioned this initiative only months after I got in office, and this plan will analyze the effects of increased rainfall on the city's drainage systems and focus on future development. This comprehensive approach to drainage is the first of its kind in our parish and has evaluated over more than 60,000 drainage systems. The Stormwater Master Plan is working. As you saw, we've already put a dent in the work. Since the approval of our first allocation where we used ARP dollars, we have cleaned 1,456 storm drains. I know how everybody loves data. 87,829 linear feet of pipe, and removed 4.9 million pounds of sediment and debris. And so we are putting our ARP dollars to work. In closing, with this in mind, I want to discuss the pivotal work we're doing to address quality of place. In the last few years, we've seen an influx of litter and trash in our community. Many of you in this room took up the call to figure out how we can address litter in the community we live, work, and play in. You've organized litter pickup crews, and your city parish government has done the same. In 2021, we dedicated additional crews to addressing trash and debris. We increased street sweeping with a focus on high litter areas, implementing new schedules for mowing on the right-of-way, adjudicated lots and FEMA lots, and worked with our residents to coordinate community service litter crews. We recently brought in an experienced quality of place specialist who has worked with cities across the country to address similar issues. We know that our efforts are not enough to match the influx of litter in our city, but we are working to create a strategic and intensified approach to the challenge at hand. Let me just say this. Many of you may remember the play Man of La Mancha. Well, there's a scene when Don Quixote and his servant stand gazing at a dilapidated inn. When Quixote describes his vision of turrets and magnificent gates, his servant tries hard to see the same picture, but all he can see are the ruins before him. And when he attempts to describe them, Quixote says, "Stop. I will not allow your facts to interfere with my vision." Friends, I entered this role as your mayor president with a vision for this city parish that we will be a community of peace, prosperity, and progress, a safe, hopeful, and healthy community for everybody. No matter what it looks like, seems like, feels like, I'm not going to abandon that vision. If I allowed some of the emails or phone calls that I receive to deter me, I would have let that vision go a long time ago. I would have just been in this seat doing a job. Yet, I understand this, and I believe you do as well, that the fulfillment of the vision is often a longer process than the vision itself. So I intend to see this vision to fruition. I intend to see this vision fulfilled. Just like Don Quixote, I need people who believe in what may seem like the impossible dream for Baton Rouge. People who share in the collective work and responsibility for what transpires in our community. People who are passionate about positive change and committed to serve as catalysts towards making a difference. People who believe in Baton Rouge no matter what. And I know that we can all be those people. I close with the words of Robert Kennedy, who once said, "It is not more bigness that should be our goal. We must attempt rather to bring people back to the warmth of community, to the worth of individual effort and responsibility, and of individuals working together as a community to better their lives and their children's future." Thank you, and God bless.